Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining in to our Soul Search interview with our amazing intuitive channels, Thomas Workman and AJ Cavanagh. Thomas and AJ are intuitive channels, also known as speaking from source, and they actually share divine intelligence by channeling what they call the guides, which are a collective of high frequency spiritual beings from multiple planes and dimensions. With great love, humor, and wisdom, the guides help individuals and groups better understand the events, working with them to align with universal truth and find the abundance and joy that is our birthright. And in doing so, the guides help clients grow in their consciousness and realize their purpose. And so we are so blessed to have AJ and Thomas actually be part of our amazing Soul Search TV launch. They have created and produced an incredible show, The Infinite Pathway, Journey to Self-Realization. And I'm excited to jump in with them to hear more about the creation of this show, what they're bringing through, and really the importance of what the guides and what they are sharing with the guides to all of humanity during this time. So welcome, Thomas and AJ. So excited to have you here with us.
Thank you. We're delighted to be here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome, welcome. And so we are so excited to have you guys as part of our Soul Search TV launch. What a huge blessing, honor, and privilege it is.
Well, we have to say to you, what's so amazing is that from the very beginning, when we started, when we met the guides and when we realized this was going to be our pathway, that everything is sort of unfolded as it's supposed to. And that includes this connection with Soul Search and with Soul Search TV, because it was clear that we channel, but they also wanted us to sort of help people get these larger messages in combination. So it's been a perfect combination. It's been a perfect next step for us. So we're so grateful.
And it's interesting too, because, the guides speak a lot about vibration and about affinity and about energy. And, as we're evolving, as we're coming into an understanding of our own energy and our own vibration and what fits with us and what doesn't fit with us, we've got these synchronicities and these alignments and these communities that are happening. And that's why, it's so exciting to see communities like Soul Search and these initiatives with Soul Search Television to really come to the forefront, where we can decide the type of programming that we want. We can decide the type of things that we want to take into our vibrational level. So it's a very exciting time, particularly as we wind up one year and move into the energy of the next.
Exactly. There is a big shift occurring right now. And what a great time for people to be able to self-reflect and then also feel empowered in being able to make choices for themselves in terms of what can I be doing on a day-to-day basis that's going to make me feel better as a human.
Yes, make some amazing intentions, and the guides say that all the time. It's all about what you choose to create, what you choose to intend, and what you choose to bring forward.
But I do think it's this time that have brought the guides.
Yes.
And have brought many people to channel at this time, because this is a really interesting time of transition. In other words, we can't sort of live in a lack of consciousness anymore. Too many things are happening around us. There's too much transition. And yet, I think were we to go in blind, it would be equally difficult. Throughout civilization, we've had divine intervention. We've had sages. We've had divine beings present the universal truths to us to help sort of every generation kind of figure it out and get through it all. And I think that's certainly the case now. And again, why I think this is also perfectly timed.
Just to know that we're so supported and that you all are bringing through this support that we have around us so viscerally is amazing.
Right.
Yeah, we often say things that, that we're not separated, that we're connected to divine source. And yet to hear and to feel the energy of the guides come through with that vibration and that support and those loving energies and those realizations, it really does something. It really brings that into you cellularly, and you really maybe understand it and experience it for the first time and realize something larger than me is going on here, and I'm a part of something bigger and larger, that for the very first time you might have experienced that. And that's really exciting. That is the cutting edge of consciousness.
It's interesting that, on the other hand, that part of what happens to us as we're transitioning, as we move to a higher consciousness, we move to evolution, really, is what's happening. That there's a lot of stuff that has to get set aside. It has to be let go of. It has to be reconceived, because as everyone sees, it gets worse before it gets better. And the guides explain that a lot of the things that are happening now that don't make all of us very happy are happening because that's how consciousness works. In other words, we always learn through contrast. So we see something happening in the news or happening in our politics or in our economy or in our health, whatever it is, and we say, oh, I guess I don't like that. That's not what I want. And so it's the perfect time for us to sort of learn, all right, let's then talk about what's off in your understanding of the universe, what's off in your understanding of yourself, right? So something as basic as you are adored by Source, something you've heard the guides say many times, and they do say it many, many times, and that's because we stopped believing it. We stopped thinking that's true. We've started to believe that some divinity is sort of tolerating us at best, and ready to do us in. And so it's easy then to see difficulties in our lives as a punishment or to see it as something else. And so really the way that the guides describe it is there are these basic, they use the word premises, which doesn't, I would think, make sense always to us, but what they mean are basic principles, basic truths that they want us all to come back to. They want us all to understand, because we've sort of lost touch with these things that we all know in our hearts, but we've been surrounded by all these other messages and we've forgotten. And that's really what the series is about, by the way. The series, what we've done is we've taken what the guides have taught topically. And each episode, we present a topic from the guides that is one of those basic truths that they really want to help us all understand. And so we use the actual channeled messages from the guides. Both we present them as well as we use the recordings. And we just talk through them. So we're just doing, we're way ahead. So we're just working on the episode on choice. And so it's an entire episode about what choice means from the divine and what our choosing is about and what's possible in that. So we've been able to take those just 12 of the many premises that the guides have presented, and we're having great fun really understanding those in some greater depth, and we hope the audience feels the same.
Wow. So this is going to be an amazing opportunity for our audience to really start connecting with these expansive truths,
Well, it's interesting right now because we've called the show The Journey to Self-Realization, and it really is, at this time, your journey, your coming to a conscious understanding of who you are. But what I love about the guides, and I'm sure Tom feels the same way, in fact, I know he feels the same way, is that, the guides offer really practical advice and practical solutions. And sometimes, you can be told that you're adored and that you're loved and that you're accepted and all of these things. And we go, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. And yeah, I get it. But, we've got some practices here that the guides have shared with us. And the recordings, the energy of the guides themselves that really bring that energy and that vibration through to your conscious understanding so that you can apply it for these times. Because what's happening right now as we come into an era of increased social media and artificial intelligence, and we can't discern what's reality and what's not, with what's real news and what's fictional news. That we really need to practice discernment, and we really need to bring in these practices for ourselves. I can't make you become conscious. I can't make you love yourself. But, tuning into what the guides have to say here on the Infinite Pathway Journey to Self-Realization, it'll give you the opportunities in the second half of each and every program to go on a journey of discovery with some practices that you can do in your everyday life to really shift at 180 and to see things from a brand new perspective and really bring your intentions closer to that manifestation and closer to that reality.
It's one of the things that we've loved about the guides, because every time they channel to a group or to individuals, they always seem to say, we get that you need to know what to do about this.
Yeah.
This is more than just, oh, this is good to know. Even in my heart space, this is good to know. What do I do tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I put this into practice tomorrow? And so, as AJ suggested, at the end of every episode, we really give those kinds of practices. Here's some things you can do to build this into your daily routine so that this becomes reality for you. That it's not just a realization, it's a real life realization that you get to use. It should transform you.
That's amazing. I think that is so powerful because you guys are bringing through these incredible messages from the divine, coming through, supporting our evolution, but also bringing those pragmatic practices that we can then utilize in our day-to-day life to embody that transmission, embody that frequency. So I think it's just such a beautiful melding of, transmission and practice coming together. And that's what really helps supports us in our day-to-day human reality, right? It's like,
right.
Okay, we're in the energy of the guides. This is incredible. This is uplifting. And we can never unexperience that, right? That stays with us forever. But then in those moments of wobble, right? In those moments of wavering, what do we do? So the fact that you guys are providing us with these tools for our human toolbox, that's really incredible.
I'll give you a great example of that. For example, we talk a lot about oneness, and we talk about, loving one another, and that's what we're all moving toward, and fifth dimensional reality particularly. But the guides are really wonderful to say, oneness is what you think on the highway when someone cuts you off in traffic. And so they really like to get to the reality. Oneness is what you think about the person in front of you wearing that bizarre outfit in the grocery store. That's where oneness lives.
Yeah.
And they're very gentle and they're very loving and they're never condemning, but they're sort of saying, you're not going to wake up in a world like Dorothy in Oz, right? You're going to... You create that, and you create it by those very specific ways that you think differently. And so it's exciting to be able to present how the guides suggest we think differently and how we do differently. So I know both AJ and I, as students of the guides, have had really great fun applying it. Every week we sort of are kind of like, did you do that? Yeah, I did that. How did that work for that? Yeah, I was at the grocery store today, and that woman was in front of me. Did I apply that today? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, because we all have, circumstances going on in our lives, circumstances, and we all have situations where we feel we have choice and where we feel we have no choice, and what's amazing about the insight from the guides is they're able to see it from a perspective that we really don't have the opportunity to have 100% insight on, obviously, which is why they're here. They're illuminating those aspects for ourselves. But what's amazing about the guides is how they acknowledge and they recognize our struggles. They recognize the challenges that's going on with us. They well and truly understand that it isn't always easy. It's easy to say it, but is it easy to do it? And that they really bring that compassion in, and they really bring that understanding in, and and we often call it their gentle, loving guidance. Because you'll really feel that it's a gentle, loving insight, and to say, no, not so much over here, but over here, and you're like, wow, I never realized over there was possible. It's amazing.
Yeah, we've heard him several times say to an individual that they're channeling to they'll say, let us give you a new way to say that.
Yes,
Let us give
yes.
you another way to think about that.
Wow.
Let's consider something a little differently. And that is just the shift in
Cool.
focus that I think is what it is all about to evolve. I think it's what will enable us to walk into our next level of humanity.
Exactly. And it's just that small shift in perspective that can really change everything,
Yep.
and open things up for us in a whole new way. And so I'm so excited you guys are bringing this show forth to be able to do that.
Mm.
For people all over the world to be able to tune in and now start having this experience, whether or not they have ever experienced channeling before, or
Mm.
they have, received these kind of messages from guides, from spirit guides. But this is the opportunity for people to tune in and listen and see how they feel, you know?
People want to understand the circumstances of their lives. Why is this happening to me? Or why am I seeing this in the world? Or why is this happening in the world? And they're also receiving more. I don't know if you've noticed in the soul search community just how many people are saying I'm getting messages, or I'm having insights, or I'm astral projecting, or I'm feeling what the other person feels in the mall or in the supermarket. And so, the guides really help us navigate. They really help us make sense of these current times. It's really quite fascinating.
And one topic at a time. I really do love that. In a given channeling, when we channel for a group, we may channel for an hour,
Sure.
maybe a good half an hour before people start to ask questions and whatnot. And then it gets more specific. But that very general covers everything. And that's overwhelming. And
Yeah.
so I think it's important just to say, let's start at the beginning here. Let's
Sure.
do let's begin at the most basic level and build from there. And of course, the guides guided us in how to put together this program.
Yes.
And so we've really sat with them quite a bit to kind of talk through this. And they're sort of like, we're going to start with the more basic premises and build from there.
Yeah, we have these 12 wonderful episodes to present through Soul Search Television. And, you can tune into any one of them. You don't have to watch them in any particular order. But if you start and you work your way through, they build on each other beautifully. And you really get this opportunity to know the guides. And, these guides are, they come from various realms, the extraterrestrials, the ascended masters, the native elders. And, they bring forward their perspectives and their insights, kind of like specialists do. We look at the medical profession, it's one profession, but there's a whole lot of specialists within that. So they bring forward their insights that help there. And it really is quite incredible.
That's amazing. And so people will have this opportunity to work with both you two and the guides and really diving in deep into each of these topics that are like, fundamental to our evolution as human beings on this planet at this time. So it's
What
the guides have been guiding you to create it in this very specific way, which I love.
they really have. And what's fascinating is that they really said, no, we want you as students to make sense of all that we've said. So for us, it's been the ability to sort of say, let's try to tear this apart. All this teaching about divine light and what does that mean and what do you do with that
Yeah.
and what's that about and then how do I build that into my own life? So having us be able to talk through it has been a lot of fun, and of course, AJ and I like to have fun, so we try to put that in the program as well.
We do.
Exactly. And I think the guys also have a great sense of humor.
Oh, they have
Yeah.
great sense of humor. Yes, they really do.
Well,
And I
it's all high
love that.
vibes. It's all
Yeah.
high vibes, and so what better way to join us and watch an episode of the Infinite Pathway and feel good about what you're hearing and about what you're receiving.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to just feel the fun that you guys are having, feel that sense of humor and that unconditional love and deep wisdom coming through the guides. It's a really powerful experience for everyone because all of a sudden you feel that transmission, you feel the frequency, but then we're also seeing you two as the humans that you are having a great time doing all of this, which is what this journey is all about, right? We can sometimes get so bogged down in the seriousness of it all, and we think spirituality has to be serious all the time, you know?
I'm really firmly believe, and I think our guides are the ones who've really pushed this to demystify mysticism,
Yes.
right?
Yes, I love that.
To take this out of this really high realm and to sort of say, no, this is how you live and breathe. This is what you do every
Exactly.
moment of your life. This is a part of your cellular structure, and we don't have to get high and mighty about it. We can just be people.
Yes. And what's fascinating too, if you look at the principles at play here, if you look at the idea of high vibration and light, they are very fine, expanded vibrations. And so, as we come into this conscious understanding, you can't help but lighten up. You can't help but feel unburdened, because you are leaving all of that heavy density, all of those, the things that you thought were so immovable and so solid and so important in your life. You get a new perspective of how to move through those densities and those energies, and you are literally lightening up and lightening your consciousness and becoming illuminated. And so, you will be happier. It's just a natural cause and effect.
You can ascend laughing. That's
Yes.
the good news.
I mean, what better way to ascend, right?
Well, that's exactly right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny because we've really seen from the guides that irony is divine. Without question, irony was given to us as a divine gift because that's where we can kind of look and go, okay. And they do that an awful lot very gently. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I liked what you said about demystifying mysticism, because again, like we're in the here and now in this day and age, spirituality is not just for the monk in the cave, and, removing yourself from society. Each one of us are powerful spiritual beings, and we can have that powerful spiritual experience sitting here day to day, every moment of our lives, wherever that might be, in Phoenix, in Sedona, in London, at work. It's not, no one is not allowed to have this spiritual experience.
and to really have a light, easy, the words ease and flow are really divine concepts, and the guides talk about them a lot, that this doesn't have to be hard. This shouldn't be a terrible mystery for you that you have to figure out. The guides often say, you already know this. You already know in your heart what your heart desires, what makes your heart sing, for example. And letting people remember that is very powerful.
Yeah, that's so true. I love it when he raises a good point. Good point, Tom.
Exactly. But, you're listening to the guides.
I know. He pays attention. Thank goodness for that.
I'm tuned in at least.
Yeah. Someone has to be. But no, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And it's true. It's like it doesn't have to be hard. This can be easy, and we're all connected. And I think, what you all are doing through this show, The Infinite Pathway, the journey to self-realization, is really supporting people and remembering who they truly are. Because like you said,
that's a good point. That's a very good point, because, often people will say, well, I've heard that. I know I'm loved by the universe. I know I can, that there's oneness and that we're not separated and everything like that. But, and there's a reason for that. And it's because you are connected. You do have all of this wisdom cellularly in you, Now, it's a matter of whether that's presenting itself forward in your everyday life and what you manifest right now. So what we're doing, it's kind of like a reconnection. We're bringing that consciousness, we're bringing that light, we're bringing that divine I am, which is at the core of who you are, which has existed in the previous lifetimes you have, and the future lifetimes you're going to have. We're bringing that soul consciousness of your divine I am forward, that remembering, and that's the transformation. That's the transformation that's going on across the planet right now, as we're having these inklings of what's going on.
Early when the guides presented to us, they quickly talked about this concept of realization. And this is one human word. There's a lot of human words they don't love, but this is one human word they love. And I think they love it. And why we titled this Journey of Self-Realization is because that's really what Ascension is about. It's coming to an inner realization of something. It's not just sort of knowing it in your head, but it's realizing, oh, it's different to say, divine tells me I'm loved, and different to realize, no, I'm really loved.
Yeah.
I'm really powerful. My desires and my choices are incredibly powerful, and I really get to choose again. For example, those platitudes, those premises, they like to use that word, are things that we have to not just know but realize. And that's really where that title comes from, is that by the end of the series, we hope that you are more self-realized, that you're able to have a deeper knowledge, a practical living knowledge of who you are.
And when you understand that, yes, and when you understand that it's not just me, but it's you and everyone else, we're all going through this journey of self-realization. We're all going through this journey together. You know, the circumstances and situations in your life become less of a contrast. They're less polarizing. They're less extreme. So, you know, you either have money or you have no money. You either have fame or you no fame. You know, you either have a roof over your head or you don't. You know, we're so used to in Earth having these polar extremes and, you know, this duality. And what's happening is that as we come into this conscious awareness of who we are, we're learning all those marvelous shades of gray that we can expand into, where our life can be more harmonious. You know, when a conductor's conducting an orchestra, he wants everyone in tune. He wants everyone together. And this, you know, through the Soul Search community, is about that. It's bringing everyone together in oneness and in understanding and affinity. And this is something that's happening across the planet. You know, it's really a very exciting time.
Exactly. It is. It's so exciting. And, you know, people around the world are asking these questions now. You know, why am I here? What is my purpose? What does it mean to be connected? You know, what is my relationship to the divine? And they're looking for answers outside of what we've been taught by society, by religion, you know. So this is the time, you know, you guys are really bringing through these premises so that people can start diving in and experiencing on their own, what does that really mean for me?
You know, we should say a word about the fact that we channel together. It's a little odd. And why we're doing this together is because we literally take in the guides together at the same time. We go into meditation together, we go into trance together, and many times we just know when AJ's going to share, and we don't always share the same guides. Oftentimes there are multiple voices all in one universal mind, but I think that's also the other reason. But it's interesting because I think it's a little unique.
Yeah, you know,
see two people channel together.
We don't talk about that a lot, but the experience that we have as channels is really quite amazing because, you know, as Tom may be channeling a certain vibration, I'm conscious of that vibration, and I can feel and see in my mind's eye everything that's unfolding or that's about to unfold. You know, when you've got a thought on the tip of your tongue and you're like, yeah, I really want to say this. That's what it's like on my side. And then when it naturally comes time for me to speak, I may have the same vibration, or it could be a different aspect, a different vibration. You know, it could be from the angelic realm and he's from the extraterrestrials, you know, and they're both sharing because there's no separation on the other side in the higher dimensions as well. You know, they all coexist together and they can all relate together. But it's fascinating. And so when Tom is there, he has the same process, and he'll be seeing lights and geometry and feeling vibrations, and it's a beautiful feeling of oneness. When we first started channeling together, and I don't know if I've really articulated this, but I really understood oneness. I really understood what that's about, and it's a beautiful experience to have. And I think that's what the guides want for you as well. They really want you to understand oneness, because it really is a game changer. You really understand that there's nothing pushing against you. There's no one fighting for you, fighting against you. There's no need to be so resistant to things. That really is that opening up and allowing and going with the flow of divine consciousness, because it's all designed to support you. And when we live in these worlds of economy, of scarcity, of supply and demand issues, and winners and losers, to have that conscious understanding that none of that really is necessary. There is enough for everyone.
But that contrast exists so that we can realize that. Right. I mean, the guides once said, "Bless your scoundrels."
Yeah.
And I love that, because what they mean by that is everything that makes you feel uncomfortable or discontent is there pushing you towards your development and your growth and your ascension and your expansion. And without that, there wouldn't be a need for it, right? If everything was smooth sailing now, but we can tell that not everything is smooth sailing right now, which means, there's a lot of good stuff coming for us. Because as we each grow a little bit more discontent with the way things are, that's when we begin to co-create the way that we want things to be.
Yeah, we really decide to intend and take control, and make some determinations for ourselves that I'm going to be that person, and I'm going to lead with that example.
Always internal. Always starts with us. I think that's the other big message.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen out there. It doesn't happen by pushing someone else. It won't happen to a political office or a new product. It'll happen in here.
Right here. It starts with each one of us, with right here in our hearts. And that's really, the message you're bringing through, the experience you're bringing through, and the practices you're bringing through.
It's such an honor for us to be able to bring it. I have to say, we both feel this way very, very strongly. Every day we thank Source, because it's such an honor to be able to do that. It's beyond words. So
yeah.
Every time we allow them in, it's an incredible blessing. So we're grateful for any opportunity.
Yeah, I have to pinch myself sometimes. I'm like, wow, to realize what is available, the divine love and support that is there for you, and the gentle guidance that is there for you, and the pathway, this pathway that is there for you. It's all there, and so it's just so exciting. And that's they're coming together in these waves of consciousness, and there's nothing stopping the light that's coming to the planet. People can cry all they want about the sky is falling and there's not enough, and so on and so forth. But I think people are starting to recognize deep within themselves that no, that's not really true, that I can create my reality. I can share and expand my light, and as I do so, other people will recognize that light and come join with me in that. And that's why we have communities like Soul Search that are becoming successful and emerging, that allow us to do the type of programming that we're putting forward.
And so we're so delighted that people, we hope, will tune in and share some of the bread we've collected.
Exactly. There's enough for everyone.
Definitely, and it's such an honor and a privilege to be working with you both, to be witnessing and to be experiencing all that you're bringing forth for all of humanity and for the world today. Powerful. And as people are watching, their gifts are also coming online. And so it's a wonderful confirmation and affirmation for so many around the world that are also having experiences and openings and awakenings and saying, what is happening? And it's like, no, I'm awakening, and here is my community that I can connect with, that is speaking my language, that I can resonate with, and that I know now that I have a choice in how I'm spending my time and my energies, and that there's a whole community here to support me in this transition. So it's an exciting time we're all in together right now. I love it.
Yep.
Yeah, when you look at the larger universe, there is a divine order. That idea that the Earth is perfectly placed in a distance away from the sun so that we don't burn or freeze, for example, to support life. I mean, the probability of that it suggests a divine order, and we all feel that. And one of the messages that comes through time and time again from the guides is that your existence, your incarnation is intentional, and you're here right now for a very specific reason, for a very specific purpose. And that makes things very, very exciting. There's nothing random in who you are or why you're here or why you're starting to have these awakenings right now. There's a divine order that is expanding, and you're a part of that expansion. You can't help but expand into that. So, it's a very exciting time to consider that there is a reason behind it all. And I am a part of it. And I'm a valuable, worthwhile part of it. And I'm loved and supported by the divine because of that. You're an essential part of the universe and this whole story that's unfolding.
Exactly. How powerful. What an empowering message, right? For every single person on the planet to hear. I am important. I matter. Not only do I matter, I'm an integral part of this entire universe, and the universe would not be the same without me.
So true. That's so
Say.
true. That's so true. Your unique contribution as to who you are right now, without changing a thing, is essential.
Which is why self-realization matters. Because if you're not identifying who your soul is and the journey your soul's on, then you're missing that. You're missing that wonderful being, right? And for AJ and I, this is really just about being humans as well, who are able to sort of take those messages, but are no different than anyone else. And it's important for us. We don't want to be gurus. We don't want to be, celebrities. We just know what the value is of the messages that we're getting. And the guides just asked us very simply, share them with as many people as you can. And so that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And so that's why we love the opportunity to do this program and to align with the Soul Search community, which is a global community, which we can get that message out there for everyone to see and experience.
Exactly. And we just really thank you both and appreciate you so much for answering the call, for being of service, being open channels to bring forth this love, this wisdom, this guidance. And, we really invite all of you to tune in December 12th. We are launching on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Android TV, and of course on our website, so you can watch these incredible life-changing and transformative programs, from the comfort of your own home. It's really this next level opportunity that each one of us has to transform together. We have, because when you're watching this and you're having these energetic experiences, up levelings, you just know that everyone else around the world is also experiencing, and we can share in that together. And then also what I love is, AJ and Thomas and all of our other Soul Search TV stars, they are so accessible because they are teachers and guides here to continue supporting you on your journey. So, there's so many more opportunities to continue working with you guys, whether it's through private sessions, through online events and courses, retreats. So, all of these shows are also a starting point, not an ending point. And that's what's so exciting as well. It's just like you guys all invited in to start the journey and then choose your own adventure.
Absolutely. We're delighted to be able to do in the coming year some wonderful events through Soul Search as well, to get out into the Soul Search community and do some live channelings. And we also have our Wisdom Wednesdays as well, which is our weekly sharing of messages from the guides, which you can sign up on our website, which is absolutely free. And that also provides a lot of information and inspiration. And our complete profile for us is on, of course, the Soul Search directory.
Exactly. And so that's the great thing is like, you can have your experiences with AJ and Tom and the guides, but then it doesn't end there. You can continue to tune in every Wednesday with them to continue hearing messages. You can work with them privately. And so the opportunities are really endless. That's what I love about what we're bringing forth through Soul Search TV is this full experience for people to dive in, start that journey, and then just see where that takes you. And, I think everyone is just going to be forever transformed.
Love it.
So wonderful to have both of you here with us. We're excited about Soul Search TV and, of course, your guys' show. So all of you, please definitely tune in. We'll be dropping the first episode of The Infinite Pathway, Journey to Self-Realization on 12/12. It'll be available on demand, so you can watch it anywhere, anytime, from the comfort of your own home, at the office, if you're taking a break, wherever you might be, you can tune in, and then we'll be dropping a new episode every week. And like AJ and Tom said, you can watch them in sequence all the way through. You can pop in, and you can always revisit as well. So let's say you watch the first episode, you listen to it, you listen to the practices, then you just go back and dive in deep again. I'm sure there's going to be a new level of messaging and frequency coming through every single time. So excited to have you guys. Thank you again, AJ and Tom. Thanks for being with us today. Thank you all for tuning in, and just stay tuned. There's much more to come from AJ and Tom, and we're excited to be working with you both, and we're just so blessed to have you as part of our Soul Search family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We feel the same.
Thank you, guys. So talk soon. Much love and many blessings.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.